Welcome back to Full Court Femmes.
Ladies, that is how you respond.
Caroline, that wasn't a bounce back. That was a correction.
Final score at the Garden, St. John's 89, Villanova 57.
All right, Annie, you called 84-78.
Caroline, I did not see a 32-point demolition coming.
They went from a 32-point loss on Wednesday night to a 32-point margin win in the next game on Saturday night. That was crazy. That first half was so much fun to watch. Captain Jack with the windmill, ball movement, defensive pressure, paint touches. Villanova never settled in.
St. John's came out like they had something to prove. They jumped early, shared the ball, controlled the glass, and defensively, they suffocated rhythm.
They suffocated it so much that Villanova shot in low 30%. Turned it over in the teens, never found spacing. Lewis couldn't organize, Perkins never got comfortable from deep, and Brennan was limited inside.
Let's talk about what powered the 89-57, because this wasn't shots fell. This was identity basketball.
All right, we're going to start where I know you love to start, Caroline, with your man, Zuby Ejiofor, because he was the headline last night.
I'm going to say take that to the commentators of the UConn game who were questioning whether or not Zuby would be Big East Player of the Year, because our boy Zuby had a triple-double last night. 16 points, 12 rebounds, 10 assists. And that 10 assists, that's the whole story.
Well, he was conducting, Caroline. He was the maestro making it all happen. That means the ball was moving, the reads were clean, and Villanova was rotating instead of setting.
And it's the sharpest contrast to Hartford because in the UConn game, Zuby had just 6 points and 4 rebounds. He couldn't grab the game, and the offense never had an anchor.
Well, and he wasn't the only one. So let's talk about Isaiah Sellers. Quiet, efficient damage on that court.
14 points on 6 of 8 shooting with 2 threes. That's not heat check basketball. That's structure.
Bounced back a few days before in Hartford. Sellers only had 4 points. UConn never let the perimeter breathe for him.
And let's talk about our boy Ruben Prey. He was huge too.
Oh my God, Ruben Prey on the court last night. 10 points, 5 rebounds, a dunk. I mean, it was awesome to watch. Some folks around us said that he leads the league in number of picks per minute. I'm not sure if that's a real stat, but it's definitely a stat that I want to follow from now on.
Erin, me too. Interestingly enough, in Hartford, Prey had just 7 points, but the game was already underwater.
Ian Jackson told the entire Garden last night that he is back.
Not sure what happened with Ian. We haven't seen him a lot the last few games, but he certainly made a statement last night with a defensive takeover as well.
Well, 19 points, Caroline. I mean, that's not just defense. That is offense and steals. 5 steals. Count them up. 5 of them. That's not just active hands. That's a player turning Villanova's offense into layup lines.
Erin, that's the other Hartford contrast. Ian had 3 points in that UConn game. Saturday, he didn't just score. He created chaos that became offense.
So zoom out. Hartford was a game where St. John's shot 20% and never found air. Last night, they looked like themselves. And Zuby's triple-double is proof of life.
Well, when your center has 10 assists, your wings are finishing, and Jackson is stealing possessions, that's not good shooting. That's a team finally playing connected.
And here's the part, Erin, that really tells you how complete the performance was. Villanova never got started. No rhythm, no pace, no spacing.
Well, they never cracked 60. It does feel like us on Wednesday night, not getting over 40, but keeping Villanova under 60 is an incredible feat, and by halftime, you could feel it in the Garden. They weren't organizing offense. They were simply surviving possessions.
Which brings us to the fun part, because when the opponent never finds rhythm, that usually means the predictions tell a story.
I love a good story, Caroline. So let's do it. Let's look at the bold or busted Villanova edition. Bold prediction number 1, St. John's commits 9 or few turnovers.
That's a bold, Erin. We only had 8.
All right. Bold prediction number 2, St. John's records 16 or more assists.
That's another bold, Erin. Zuby had 10 of the 22 recorded assists last night.
All right. Let's check number 3 then. St. John's wins points in the paint by more than 10.
That's another bold, Erin. St. John's dominated inside, winning the paint by double digits.
Number 4, your guy again. And we all know, we read the headlines. We heard him after the game. Zuby records 18 points and 10 plus rebounds.
All right. So we didn't necessarily hit on this, but he finished with 16 points. But he had the triple-double. So those 12 rebounds and those 10 assists, that's more valuable than the 2 points that we didn't hit. All-around game for Zuby, amazing.
Are we claiming it a bold then, or is it
We're
a technical?
claiming it 3/4.
Okay. We'll stay with that. I'm good with that. Let's see what number 5 delivers. 3 St. John's players score in double figures.
All right, Erin, this is a bold. Ian Jackson, 19 points. Zuby, 16 points. Josiah Sellers, 14 points. Ruben Prey, 10 points. So when you zoom out on Boulder Busted, that's 4 clean hits, 1 technical miss, but I'm giving us a 4.75 on that.
I like that. Your math is mathing for me. Even the miss wasn't a breakdown. It was a stat technicality. And the real story? The real story is beautiful. Ball security, ball movement, interior control, balance. That's who St. John's is when they're disciplined.
That's right, Erin. And when they show up together, it's 89-57, not 84-78.
And now it shifts because Tuesday isn't just another conference game.
It's senior night.
Caroline, that matters.
Because this group matters, not just statistically, culturally.
Start with Zuby. Triple-double last game. Interior anchor all season. He's been the emotional stabilizer when things wobble.
Zuby changed the texture of this team. When he's facilitating, defending, rebounding, this program feels connected. He's not just a forward. You say it all the time, Caroline, and I feel like you should say it now. He's the heartbeat of this team.
He absolutely is. Then we got to talk about Bryce Hopkins. Forward, guard, leader. The moment he stepped into the program, expectations shifted.
There were a lot of questions about Bryce Hopkins when he became a Johnny at the beginning of this season, but he demonstrated that wearing the red and white is the right place for him to be. He's been the tone setter in big games, physical, unapologetic.
And we have to remember, Erin, he's still recovering from his knee injury. So the fact that he's playing at this level right now when he is not, I'm going to say he's not 100%. I don't know if anybody else is saying that. There's more to come from Bryce Hopkins, and hopefully we see that in the Big East tournament and going forward. On to Josiah Sellers, the quiet assassin. Spacing, shot making, late clock composure, as opposed to mine.
He just assassinated you with your words.
He absolutely did.
Sellers is the guy who makes offensives breathe. Offense, breathe. Offensives? Oh my God, this poor guy deserves more from us on his senior night. You don't always notice him. Quite frankly, I think we all notice him because we love when he's on that court. But you do notice him when he's finding the rhythm for the team.
Now let's talk about Dylan Mitchell. He brings energy, length, versatility.
I gotta tell you, as much as you love watching Zuby play, I love watching Dylan Mitchell play. He defends multiple shots. He runs the floor. He doesn't need plays called for him to be a game changer.
I like him too, Erin. I know you've been high on him all season. I thought last night he played great. He was fluid. He's so athletic. And even when he's not scoring, his defense keeps us in. He really keeps us in. He locks down that floor. All right, Io, this guy. He's the glue. He traveled with Patino from Iona. He's a physical presence.
Io happens to be probably one of the kindest people we've seen in his interviews. He's a good soul, and I'm so, so happy to see how successful his career has been with Rick Pitino at St. John's. These are the players who survive March. They're the ones who do the work that doesn't trend.
And let's talk about Tamba for a minute. He got in last night.
Mm-hmm.
Got some interior depth there for us. Rim protection, he's a development story.
He is a development story. Programs grow when big men develop, and that's what Tampa represented for St. John's.
Yep, here's what makes this different. This isn't senior night for a team sitting in the middle of the standings. This is senior night for a team fighting for first place in the Big East.
It's obvious that this class didn't just contribute, they elevated.
Erin, so Tuesday isn't sentimental, it's powerful, because this group built the version of St. John's we're watching right now.
And the way you honor that, you win.
So yes, Tuesday starts with gratitude. with names called, families in the stands. You're going to cry. I know it, Caroline. You are going to cry when Zuby walks off that court, Madison Square Gardens.
But Erin, it doesn't end there because the opponent isn't coming to clap. Georgetown is coming to compete.
And they don't care about ceremony. They care about pace and they care about winning.
So once the lights dim and the lineups are announced, it's basketball again. And Georgetown has something to say about how this night goes.
All right, so let's take a look at where they've been so far. They've actually are coming off 2 losses, Xavier on February 28th and Marquette on February 24th. And I said Xavier wrong. Go ahead, tell me, Caroline.
It's Xavier, but that's okay. In both games, though, you saw flashes, but defensive lapses late.
Well, here's the part that can't get lost in senior night emotion. Georgetown might be wounded, but we have seen flashes of greatness this year. They are not harmless.
Not at all. Now, KJ Lewis is out for the remainder of the season. That's a big piece that's missing from their team. That's scoring, that's rebounding, that's athleticism.
And that changes their ceiling, but it doesn't change their guards.
Malik Mack, still a key player to watch. And we talked about him during their last matchup in December. He is their organizer. He sits at the top of the key and moves the ball. But not only that, he's also their late clock decision maker. Against St. John's on December 31st, he had 17 points and 6 assists. That's nothing to sneeze at.
Not at all, Erin. He got downhill. He got to the line. He tried to speed the game up when it stalled. But here's the key. St. John's made him work for everything. He shot inefficiently, contested looks, no clean rhythm.
Okay, so they've got Mack, but they also have Caleb Williams, versatile forward. He's got length, and he can truly stretch you out.
In December, 15 points. He hit perimeter shots, attacked closeouts. He was their most fluid scorer that night.
And without KJ Lewis, Williams' usage goes up. That means more touches, more responsibility, more chances to heat it up.
So here's why this matters. Georgetown just lost to Xavier, Caroline,
Good
and
job.
Marquette. They're frustrated, just like our Johnnies were frustrated after that loss to UConn. They're trying to salvage their pride, and they will fight hard to do so.
Absolutely. And if you let Mack control tempo and Williams find early confidence, you give a shorthanded team belief.
Well, St. John's can't afford any team walking into the Garden to have belief, not with first place hanging over their head, not with UConn lurking, as they do.
This isn't just senior night Tuesday night, it's leverage night. And Georgetown, even shorthanded, is capable of stealing rhythm if you let them. So if you zoom out, it's simple. No KJ Lewis, more pressure on Mack, more touches for Williams.
Caroline, this means this isn't about guessing, it's about discipline.
Senior night emotion? Great. Now execute through it.
If you end possessions the first time, if you don't let a shorthanded team hang around, then this night stays in red and white.
All right, ladies, let's get specific. Keys to the game. Key number 1, make Mack a scorer, not a conductor.
All right, we said it before. Everything runs through him now. Without KJ Lewis, he has to organize, score, and control tempo. That's a lot.
Forcing him into tough twos. Don't overhelp. Make him finish over length.
Key number 2, body Caleb Williams early.
Caleb Williams is the swing piece. He had 15 in the first meeting. He stretches the floor, Erin. He attacks closeouts.
So you can't let him get confident in the first 5 minutes. Hit him first. Make him feel size. We're talking to you, Zuby, you, Hopkins, and you, Prey.
All right, key number 3, win the first 6 minutes.
Senior night energy can be chaotic. We know it. We've watched it happen before. You don't want a short-handed Georgetown thinking we're in this at any stage of this game.
Nope, they got to jump them early. Ball movement, paint touches, defensive stops. Set the tone before emotions take over.
Key number 4, and I think we say this more times than not, they need to dominate the glass.
Without Lewis, Georgetown loses athletic rebounding. That's opportunity.
One shot and out. No second chances to build belief.
Key number 5, play through my guy Zuby again.
When the offense flows through him, everything settles.
Georgetown doesn't have interior depth to handle him if he's decisive. Paint touch first, kick out second. That's how you keep control, and that's exactly what he did last night.
Georgetown isn't explosive right now. They're condensed, which means if St. John's plays disciplined, this shouldn't be dramatic at all.
So, Erin, Annie, this isn't complicated. Control the guards, own the glass, play through your strength, and don't give a shorthanded team oxygen.
I feel like you're talking specifically to Patino as he's writing this down, Caroline. So here's the thing. We don't just write it down and say what the keys are. We measure the success of execution.
Because discipline has numbers, Erin.
Yes, it does. All right, let's go. We've only got a few more of these left, so we're going to put a lot of energy into these predictions. Bold or busted, Georgetown edition. Number 1, St. John's holds Mac under 16 points.
If he's under 16, you made him inefficient. If he's over 20, he dictated pace.
Bold prediction number 2, St. John's wins the rebounding margin by 10 or more.
No KJ Lewis means opportunity. This needs to be physical dominance. Plus 10 says control.
Bold prediction number 3, St. John's forces 14 or more turnovers.
Georgetown is guard dependent now. Pressure the ball, speed up decisions.
Bold prediction number 4, St. John's scores 20 plus points on those turnovers.
Defense must turn into offense. Senior night energy needs to convert.
And the last one, bold prediction number 5, St. John leads by double digits at halftime.
Shorthanded teams stay alive when games are tight.
This game isn't about assist totals or shooting percentages.
It's about control, pressure, rebounding, and tempo.
Senior night shouldn't be suspenseful. It should be authoritative.
St. John's isn't chasing vibes anymore. They're chasing positioning, which means we call in the closer, Caroline.
All right, Annie.
Here we go. I think the emotion fuels them early, but I don't think it overwhelms them. Georgetown will compete. Mac will have moments. Williams will hit a shot or two, but this team understands what's in front of them now. They don't need fireworks. They need structure. I've got it. St. John's 80, Georgetown 70.
I love that we're back in the 80s, Annie. That's a firm score right there.
And that's senior night with clarity.
And that keeps the math very, very interesting.
Because here's the part people don't want to jinx.
All right. I hate going through this because it does get complicated. If St. John's handles Georgetown, then the entire season may or may not tilt towards one game on March 6th at the Prudential Center against Seton Hall.
That one isn't emotional. That one is structural.
So let's break it down a little bit more. If St. John's beats Georgetown and they win at Seton Hall, there's a very real chance that the Johnnies could win the Big East regular season title. That's where it gets complicated, Caroline. That's
Very
why
complicated.
the math is a little nutty.
Very, very complicated. We need to win out. We also need Creighton to win their remaining game. If Creighton loses, or Providence, who has 2 games left, wins and moves up to number 5, UConn will then win the Big East title, and we will be in second because UConn beat Providence twice, and we split. So it's complicated. We need to do our part, beating Georgetown and beating Seton Hall, and then we need Creighton really to do their part and help us out a little bit.
Honestly, the Johnnies only can do what they are responsible for, and that is 40 minutes for first place.
Subscribe to Full Court Femmes.
It's going to get fun, Caroline, so they should follow us.
No hype, all hoops.
Let's go, Johnnies!